So today I'm going to be practicing my voice acting skills, which are literally non-existent. But anyway, I just thought this would be a very good idea for me to do. This is the novel I'm working on. It's a work in progress. There's 11 chapters so far. This is the cover, what it looks like. This isn't the only website that I post on. This is a web novel. I post on Wattpad as well, and Quotev. Anyway, this is my document where I've put like moments from my main character called Might, which is a fictional character, by the way. Basically, I've called it Might's Speeches. Yeah, so in each chapter, so it's chapter 0, chapter 1, chapter 2, and so on. Yeah, so there's still people in this house, so unfortunately I can't go all out. So I'm just gonna read this casually then. Okay, chapter 0. Our world is a dark place full of crime and debauchery. But what I find so odd is the fact that the person who speaks and writes about such things is denounced as if he or she was responsible for such crimes. People prefer to close their eyes to the truth. They always want to deny, deny, deny. I will not. I am Might, the only brave and fearless writer left in this world. My fellow reader, put away all your biases and read the horrors that I document and pray that you will not become corrupted. Today I remembered how I received a letter from the Emperor himself. The man threatened to have me shot or imprisoned if I continued to write my novels. I write about the truth, and the truth is not pretty. People are terrified of the truth and try their best to hide it. The experienced know that everyone has a shadow side, thoughts so dark and morbid that dwell in the subconscious, unexplored in so many. Why does it remain so unexplored? Everyone has their own dark little secret, even the Emperor. It's so easy for us to hope that justice will come, that the bad guy will be dealt with, but the world is a cruel place. Bad guys are untouchable until enough courageous people bring the truth to light. Most of the time, unless we do something about it, nothing will change. There is something more important to explore. Exploration, my favourite word after the phrase lex talionis. Ever felt numb from pleasure when it feels so good it starts to hurt? Ever wondered if there was a way to feel as much pleasure as possible and process it all? I call it optimal pleasure. It involves being affected by stimuli causing you to become more aware of the body and its condition, a stimuli which awakens you, connecting the body, soul, and the mind. It works similar to being blindfolded and embraced on by a lover. The blindfold is a stimuli which temporarily removes the sight, and so the body is awakened more than ever, so focused on survival that endorphins surge within you, and your other senses flourish as they are heightened. This is a wonderful experience, isn't it? Imagine a more sensual experience, one that will blow your mind. You know that advertisement about X? I was actually the voice actor for that commercial. I'm not bragging about this, nor am I trying to promote this product. It is small enough to fit into your pockets, but its impact is huge. X is extremely dangerous, and I was so ignorant a decade ago. It was my idea, but the people twisted it and changed it into something ugly, something wicked. They use it like a drug or a toy and don't actually care about learning from the experience. I hate them all, those X users. Timothy was a man who was addicted to feelings. He latched himself onto pleasure like a moth to a flame, and even the pleasure received from Fallon wasn't enough for him, and so he underwent the most sensual journey that could be taken. I call it exploration. Open your eyes. My meaning is exploration. Experiences are truly what matter the most in this world. The experienced know that everyone has a shadow side, thoughts so dark and morbid that dwell in the subconscious, unexplored in so many. Why does it remain so unexplored? These experiences become memories, and fragments of these memories become thoughts or even belief. All of these put together become the unique self. You are a collection of your own thoughts, memories, and experiences, but these aren't fixed. They can change. Therefore, you can change too, provided that you are fearless enough. There was a 19-year-old man who had been suffering from boredom. He wanted to feel something and feel alive again. His name was Timothy Williams. Little did he know that he was staring at what he would become if he continued down this path. When X was available to the public, a lot of people purchased it, wanting some kind of escape that would bring them pleasure. They would seek for more pleasure. They thought that it was just fun and games until their bodies demanded more and more sensation, until this happened to them. Their minds rewired to derive pleasure at all costs, their faces blurred in X, although their faces were not blurred in reality. I still don't know how the drug marks people in such a manner, almost as if the drug itself has a conscience, like it's warning other users what they're doomed to become if they don't change their mindset. Now I will explain what these burdens are, but fear not, for I will not overload you with too much information. Think of a sponge. This sponge is brand new and fresh. Eventually, the sponge turns darker as it accumulates more dirt if this sponge is never washed. Eventually, it will turn black and look nothing like its former self. This sponge is like the human soul, and that which darkens it are stresses absorbed from society. These stresses are fears, sadness, guilt, empathy, shame, regret, and all kinds of vices and addictions. This can be visualized after taking X. Hence, I will stop talking and present to you an excellent reason to take X, at least once a month or once a week if you have the self-control not to become addicted. Personally, I go to X only twice a month. 1. To check the environment, and 2. To release my own burdens to prevent myself from becoming consumed. I admit that I am a magnet for burdens. Some people have less burdens than others. Some people find it easy to release them, but others struggle to let go. I woke up and needed to tell you something. What do you think of the civilized man? Think about this carefully before reading on. I think that it's a dangerous lie. Nothing has changed. Human nature has not changed. We've used the civilized man to delude ourselves. They rob us from vitality at very young ages. They sacrifice the innocent, hoping to gain more life force and to undergo transformation in whatever degenerate means possible. And you say, aren't we living in civilized, peaceful times? Don't be so naive. The day in question are hiding in plain sight, those you trust the most. The more that one avoids sin, the more difficult the inner battle which they face. It is an endless and painful tug of war. Should one even bother to worry about sinning and choose to listen to their whims instead? Should one throw themselves into chaos and abandon order? The darkness of this chaos will devour them, and they will allow themselves to become devoured. Total surrender, the ultimate ecstasy. They are not afraid of the darkness because they do not fear that which they do not yet perceive. These qualities make for the explorers of the furthest regions of the internal realm of chaos, the abyss. Oh wait, what am I doing again? I was supposed to look for a fire extinguisher to purchase. It's going to come in handy the next time my house decides to catch on fire. To my carelessness, I was thinking about various important things, as well as different types of winged creatures. When my pan and stove caught on fire, within seconds the damn thing spread. Ha! You'd think that water would work. It just made it worse. Isn't water supposed to be the opposite of fire? Anyway, it's sorted now. Important advice, don't use water. You're better off smothering the raging flames with baking soda, and if that's not possible, evacuate and make your call. I often get stuck. I feel stuck, and even the voice from inside won't cease its relentless calls for me to take action, but I cannot. In those moments, my burdens are piled up, weighing me down. In moments like this, I've learned to drag myself about looking for a change of scenery. A change of scenery is desperately needed, for that is my only salvation. This man is completely calculative, he is self-aware and has the strong will required for exploration. May I remind you again, my fellow readers, this man is a product of the country that he lives in, the product of the emperor. I won't be explaining anything related to Timothy, but let his own words and actions speak for itself. I have no need to speak for another man. I believe that everyone in this world deserves to be heard every once in a while. If the voices of the people are silenced, how will we ever get to the truth? Experience is the best teacher. The more that you open yourself to experience and to information, the richer your life becomes. Now, information becomes addictive and warped if you aren't too careful. Sometimes I wake up with a burning passion to consume information after information. What is beauty? What is love? What do we strive for? What do we struggle for if everything ends with our deaths? I do not want the answer to be handed to me. I will search for it. What is our greatest motivator? It is fear. It is the endless desire of self-preservation. To survive and overcome and beat the odds. With every victory and defeat, that voice from within is as powerful as ever. It doesn't matter how cynical you are. That voice, that fire from within, it is my muse, my advisor, my guide. It is the source of my pleasure. Experience has taught me well. I must apologize to myself for having ignored the voice for so long. Although my meaning is exploration, the voice is my compass, which guides me in this life. However, I'm not protected from making mistakes. I'm not protected from my imperfection, and I'm also not protected against my own ignorance. What am I going to do next? This is a question I find myself asking many, many times. If I find myself unable to execute that plan, if I'm unable to move forward, I just stop. If I'm interrupted by external forces beyond my control, I stop. Throughout my life, I find myself having to stop more than I find myself moving forwards, even though the voice only pushes me forward. Why can't I ever rest? Why do I lie awake at night thinking about the suffering of humanity and the atrocities that are committed against our fellow humans and the evils we commit against nature? Why do I think about what I did in X? Why did she leave me? Why do we even deserve to exist in such a hateful world? Perhaps it would have been better if we never existed. But what of beauty? What of love and pleasure? What we find beautiful is inevitably sullied. There it is, I feel stuck again. What did I want to investigate today? When I'm stuck, I do everything in my power to avoid interacting with other people. I find it impossible to exercise or do anything except for the bare minimum. It is the creative's worst nightmare. I want to move forwards. Not yet. I must wait. Who is telling me to wait? I am afraid. I'm afraid of what? Afraid of not having enough. I'm afraid of advancement, even though my heart yearns for it. Step forward now! But how can I? I cannot move. I cannot move yet. I'm not ready yet. Will I ever be prepared enough? Should I rest? Never! What a disgustingly absurd idea. I still have hope that I will obtain clarity soon, with or without rest. With or without rest, my mind will give me what I want. The voice, he's never failed me. Oh, how I long to connect with you again. But I am stuck, and there's too much in our way. Should I seek out new experiences in the hopes that beauty will nourish my yearning soul? Should I listen to music, derive beauty from it, and welcome all the feelings with open arms? I'm thinking so much, but at the same time, I'm not thinking at all. Oh, when will I be free again? When will I be released from the bird's cage that I have imprisoned myself in? When? Why does this happen to me so frequently? What is this thought that orders me to rest? I will not rest. I don't want to relax. I don't want to take my eyes off the valuable information that I'm currently reading. I will do my research, and not a soul on earth can stop me. No one can stop me. Comfort is something that we are used to. Whatever we're familiar with gives us comfort. Imagine living in a small town far, far away. Information is limited and there is only one source. The population creates the information via chatter amongst their fellow people. Therefore, what is true and false is unknown. The people have everything they could ask for, but they aren't allowed to leave. Those who are caught leaving mysteriously disappear. The enemies of exploration are those who cling to what comforts them. The population who cling to one another like flour mixed with water, who follow the ways of family, friends, and lovers without questioning, are the enemies of exploration. They are also the enemies of truth. Let no one or nothing prevent you from expressing the truth. Exploration, what a deadly venture! Fully submit to the cause, and you free yourself from this prison we call comfort. Welcome freedom, and you inevitably welcome the risks of ostracization, solitude, and even death. It is not unheard of that a good man dies fighting the good fight. What is death but a part of life? The ending of everyone's story is their death. Would you rather live a long life of oppression that you have welcomed in the form of comfort and die an ordinary death? Or would you rather live your life and die knowing that you died for the right cause? It is not within my character to decide what other people should do with their lives, but I know what option I would rather choose. I am aware that I may have expressed to you all that fear is a great motivator, even stronger than love, but death is the ultimate motivator. I personally recommend this. Every day that you wake up first thing in the morning, you look in the mirror and tell yourself, this is another day in my life and I'm going to die one day, but until then, I will live my life according to my way. I got interrupted again, and damn it was I on a roll. It was Timothy. I'm sorry, did I say that death is the ultimate motivator? I'm beginning to think that annoyance is the ultimate motivator because I'm so annoyed right now. If I could punch him in the face for disturbing my train of thought, I would. Can I be left alone? I sighed, not wanting any part of what he had in store for me. Silence. What is it about silence that makes us so uneasy? The more that you focus on it, the more overwhelming it becomes. Silence is a lack of noise where all is still. It should be peaceful. It is only peaceful for a short while. Wait a little longer. You will be aware. You will be alert. Something is lurking around the corner, you think, as you wait in anticipation. Perhaps you attempt to escape from it by speaking, singing, or whistling. Perhaps you are fortunate enough to let something play in the background to put you at ease. The next time that silence arrives, be fortunate that your mind can generate enough noise to fill in the blanks. And how our minds love to fill in the blanks. Every experience you've ever had, even the ones you regret, will be presented to you as a memory, whether you like it or not. I know that I have often said that fear is our greatest motivator. However, too much fear paralyzes us mentally. When you are void of fear, there is little driving force which urges you to survive. But when you are full of fear, the urge to survive becomes so powerful that it engulfs you, leaving you paralyzed in indecision or leaving you out of balance. Do as you will. I knew what she meant now, and it was all unfolding before my very eyes, how humanity behaves naturally with all their hidden aspects unleashed. But why wasn't anyone being violent towards one another? The room was full of love, and they were touching each other, despite being complete strangers. How? This proves that humans are social creatures who'd rather love each other than destroy one another. How absurd! I cannot make that generalization. Doesn't humanity relish in gaining the upper hand over one another? Doesn't humanity hunger for survival at every cost? Don't they hunger for power, dominance, security, freedom, love? Oh, love! I see now. This is humanity without fear. Humanity without fear doesn't want to destroy one another. They want to love one another instead. Fear is one side of the coin, love is on the other. Often the two themes bleed into each other. Throughout centuries, love has been a mystery to us all, the ultimate indefinable concept. Time and time again, humankind has attempted to define what is the deadliest gift bestowed upon us. It is love. Love, the super weapon. Love destroys all those who fall for his trap. What must you do to fall for this trap? You must fall in love. It is love that pulls your attention away from the future. And if you aren't careful, falling in love will also pull you away from yourself. Never fall in love. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Mind you, there is a difference between loving and falling in love. To fall in love is a sickness, an obsession. And to love is something far more beautiful, powerful and pure. It is lovers who have the most courage and the most light. The lover of learning is most wise. A lover of humanity is one of the best character. You can love an infinite amount of different things, but you can only fall in love with another human being. You can never fall in love with humanity, never fall in love with your country, never fall in love with knowledge. When two people fall in love with each other, love the super weapon, love the double-edged sword stabbed in your back will make them more similar to each other, as they will be influenced by their love, or should I call it obsession, for each other. Familiarity breeds contempt. Their so-called love obsession for each other will fade out like a candle left outside on a windy day. If you find yourself falling in love with anyone, open your eyes. Who is this person who has you by the balls? Who are they truly? This person is exactly like you. This person is flawed. This person is beautiful. This person is human. This person has dreams, responsibilities, and fears. This person eats. This person sleeps. This person shits. This person fucks. This person will die. What will love do to you once you allow yourself to fall in love with this mere human being? Love will give you heart eyes, and you will only see this person's light, but be blind to their faults, be blind to who they really are, so you will be loving an idealized version of themselves that they can never live up to. You will allow yourself to be played like a fool, and then they will leave you. It is inevitable. Love is a double-edged sword, a weapon that can be fatal to others, including yourself if you aren't careful. This is the reality of love. You may be wondering, Might, how is love a super weapon? What do you mean? Imagine a coin. If love is on one side of that coin, what is on the other side? It is not hate, because hate is just another warped form of love, just like obsession. If it isn't hate, then what is it? Fear. Fear is on the other side of the coin. If you love more, you will fear less, and vice versa. It is lovers who are most courageous, who support one another and combine their powers to birth the super weapon. They can set out to conquer the world if they wanted to. Lovers uplift each other without being blind to each other's reality. A nation of lovers would make the most powerful nation, especially if they have a leader who is a lover, who also encourages it. For now, that is all I must say about love. Now, my fellow readers, this long tale about the Cloud family will be continued. To be honest, I don't blame him. It is irritating because you aren't allowed to refuse. If you aren't completely with the regime, you are labelled a traitor and disciplined immediately if caught. Is it so wrong to point out the system's flaws? To say anything about this precious Rainbow Nation is a death wish. I am Might, and I will tell you exactly what I think of Rainbow Nation. Rainbow Nation is flawed. Do you really think that we, the people, unite so easily? Our original cultures stripped away in exchange for one unifying culture of perfection? How many nations of the past have fallen, destroyed by the uprising of its own citizens? The greatest multicolored nation in the world, what on earth happened to that country? The most powerful nation in the world disappeared off the map. The original Rainbow Nation, wiped out. Nobody knows the truth, but if you think hard enough, you'll be able to guess. A nation made dumber, poorer, ruled by an iron fist cannot sustain itself. A nation with its citizens that cannot speak their mind and are no longer able to protect themselves are an unhappy nation. Okay. Yeah, that's it, honestly. Wow, that was exhausting to read it all, but that's, yeah, my novels are work in progress, and these speeches are put somewhere, like, randomly throughout the chapters. It's probably, like, if you haven't read my book, this probably makes very little sense, but when put in context, and it's much better that way. Anyway, yeah. I'm gonna put the link to where you can find my novel in the comments or the description, and hopefully you can check it out. I'd appreciate it.